Welcome to Ann Arbor here at Michigan Stadium, otherwise known as the Big House, for this very important Big Ten matchup between the USC Trojans and the Michigan Wolverines. I'm David Roy, and in the booth with me this afternoon is Mike Peters, the commissioner of the CFSL. And Mike, a very important game as both teams looking for their second conference win.
Well, all of these games at this point in the season are important. USC trying to go 2-0 in the Big Ten. Michigan trying to go 2-1. And probably more important for Michigan at this point as they get a nice return there by Pepino. But it's big for both of these teams. Maybe more so, like I said, Michigan here playing at home.
So out comes this Michigan offense led by their freshman signal caller in Tanner Jones, who this season 3 touchdown passes, no interceptions, but one of the fewest in passing yards as Dior Chapman will open things up with a 4-yard run.
Well, much like we saw from Scott Fountain the other night, Tanner Jones, kind of the same build. He's a runner, not a passer necessarily, and so his threat is with his legs.
Jones out of the pistol here, and he's going to give it right back to Dior Chapman, put there to bring him down, and in a hurry was Benjamin Kay. So setting up a long third down here early for the Wolverine offense.
Yeah, Kay is their main guy at linebacker. He's leading the team in tackles right now. They depend on him to get in and play against the run game, and he did a good job there.
Tanner Jones going to set up the halfback screen over here to the near sideline, and that is for Dior Chapman, but he will lose a couple. Xavier Holly getting in there in a quick 3-and-out for this Michigan offense.
Yeah, I didn't mind the first play. I mean, actually, the second play wasn't bad. USC just did a good job, but 3 straight plays going to Chapman, using halfback screen. Maybe they're setting them up. We've seen that throughout the seasons. Sometimes teams will set up the other team early on, but not the way that Michigan necessarily wanted to start.
Well, and on the other side of things, this USC team going to be led by Kingston Fox, although Marcellus Burney trying to make some of that punt return. He'll get out to the 37, but Kingston Fox and that player as well, Mason Winters, been a big part of the offense, although this season the bigger story, Mike, has been Tim Cope at receiver.
Yeah, Tim Cope's he's leading the league, or leading the team in receiving yards. He's got 6 touchdowns. He's been a breakout player coming in from Alabama as a transfer.
Fox in a quick throw and out into the flats for the tight end Stern, who picks up 18 yards, showing some muscle there to do so, but it's a nice gain here early for the Trojans.
Stern actually second among receivers in receptions. Mason Winters is just kind of sitting at the back, playing second fiddle so far this season. It's interesting that's what's going on, although they are 2-1, so they haven't needed him, but he also broke out late last season. We'll see if he does that this season.
And off here running right, Kane Robinson, and he's only going to pick up 4. But, Mike, the last time he faced this Michigan team, Kane Robinson ran 30 times, 166 yards, and 3 rushing touchdowns.
Well, it's funny. For the season, Kane Robinson only has 30 carries for 171 yards. So I don't know if they're going to go back to that against Michigan or if they're going to use them lightly like they have been most of the season.
Going to run it back with Kane Robinson here, and Robinson cutting back all the way to the weak side of the formation to pick up 6 yards and set up a manageable 3rd and 1 off his second carry.
Well, so far it looks like they're going to try to go back and repeat the success that he had last season, as they seem to be featuring him early and often.
That was a high-scoring affair, too. 59-42 was the final score in this meeting between these two teams, as Robinson right up the middle will move the chains in a gain of 6.
Well, they've gone to him 3 times now in this opening drive, so it definitely looks like they're trying to get him more involved. He's only averaging 10 carries a game coming in, although he's also averaging 6 receptions, but they definitely look like they're focusing more on running with him, which we'll see how that works out. Michigan's got a good linebacker in the middle, a good safety back there. We'll see how it ultimately benefits them.
Robinson running right, and there is that really good linebacker that you mentioned, Cletus Castle to be exact, coming downhill to make the stop.
Yeah, Castle, freshman, joining this season first time. He's got 27 tackles, which leads the team. They're hoping that he can replicate the success Nate Jones had here.
There's Sawyer Stern with his second grab of the afternoon, able to move the sticks there as Kingston Fox stands in to deliver it.
And a nice, effective drive here for USC. They're moving the ball down the field. They're taking their time, and they got themselves in scoring position.
3-step drop and a quick throw as Sawyer Stern moving the chains yet again, this time for 12 yards, and that makes it 1st and goal for the USC Trojans.
Well, this is one of the things that we see some of the other teams not do well, and that's be creative and be diverse in their offensive play calling.
Fox out of the gun, trips bunch to the left. Kingston Fox rolling, and he will throw that through the back of the end zone, and that brings up 2nd and goal.
Well, that's what a veteran quarterback will do for you. Kingston Fox in his 3rd season here. Recognizes there's nobody open, doesn't try to force it, just throws it away.
Read option keeper, Kingston Fox breaks 1 tackle, but he cannot get away from the rest of the Michigan defense. Gets down inside the 5, though, as John Hill Jordan and company came downhill to make that stop.
Did you see Cletus Castle there? He looked like a baby deer that couldn't get his legs under him. First he whiffs on the tackle, then he tries to go back, and he stumbles all over people.
Goal line set and a quick 3-step drop and the quick throw for Sawyer Stern and the touchdown for USC.
That was an excellent drive there by the Trojans. They march the ball down the field. They go inside, they go outside, they run the ball. They even use the read option. That's what teams got to do to move the ball in this league. USC executes it perfectly to take the early lead.
A 10-play scoring drive for this USC offense. That results in the nice little 3-yard touchdown pass to Sawyer Stern, and Mike, an early lead here for USC. But again, in this last meeting between these teams, it was a high-scoring affair, and it took USC having to put up 59 points to get that win.
I think that was more an aberration than reality, but we'll see.
A big return here for Juice Staley all the way out to the Michigan 44, and he's going to give Tanner Jones in this offense another crack at that USC defense that held the Wolverines to just 1 yard on their opening drive.
Well, now we're going to see if that was a setup drive or if that was maybe just not the greatest play calling. If they come out and start slinging it here, then maybe it was a setup drive.
2-by-2 look, and it's a handoff here for Dior Chapman running to the inside. He's only going to get a couple yards as Xavier Holly gets over there to make the tackle, and if he didn't do it, Peyton Miles was going to.
Yeah, this is it's interesting early on. Obviously, there's still a lot of game left, but Michigan's not coming out trying to bring the dagger to him early on like USC is.
Trey Greer, the receiver in motion, as Tanner Jones going to give it right back to Dior Chapman. Him on the counter run this time, picking up 6 yards and out to that midfield stripe. So 3rd and 2. In a much better spot for this Michigan offense than their previous drive.
Well, they can use the read option here if they need to, which is one of the things I haven't seen. Tanner Jones isn't going to sling it all over the yard, but just giving it to Chapman every play isn't ideal.
Speed option here, and Jones does pick up 8 yards in the first down, but he took a punishing shot there from Jonathan Green.
Well, there's a lot of big hitters on this defense, a lot of star-level players. It's led by Benjamin Kay. You talked about Peyton Miles. They got Terrence Goldsberry, Xavier Holly, Maine Patterson. Lots of good players on this defense.
Jonathan Green last week caught 3 interceptions. That pass over the middle for Giorgio Pepino, and that picks up 20 yards and a new set of downs here for the Wolverines.
Well, that's what I was hoping to see earlier. Something other than just Dior Chapman getting it every play. They went with the read option keeper. There by Jones. Now they go over the middle. They find Pepino, their best wide receiver. They're starting to get a little bit more diverse, which is going to help spread out this defense.
Trying to attack this USC team in this USC defense that so far in their CFSL career, Michigan only just one of 4 teams that have been able to put up more than 30 points against him. It's Dior Chapman throwing out the stiff arm against Peyton Miles, and that's going to help Chapman pick up 10.
Well, and that's what happens when you run that read option with that speedy quarterback you got in Tanner Jones, and you throw to Pepino, you spread out the defense a little bit and open up those running lanes.
6th play of the current drive, and it's a read option keeper, and Tanner Jones going nowhere. Maine Patterson read it the whole way to make the stop.
Well, the idea is to keep him off balance. You're not going to execute every play, and that time USC was ready for it. They predicted maybe it was going to be a read option. They kept Patterson to play the edge defender there and shut it down. Nice play.
And off Chapman running the counter to the left side and tracking him down with Xavier Holly. And Chapman, they'll say he got a yard. So it's 3rd and 13 here for Michigan.
Well, he had some space there, but he gets tripped up on his tackle and stumbled him up.
Tanner Jones setting up the halfback screen to the right side. Here's Dior Chapman with some blocking. Chapman down to the goal line, and he'll get the first down, but not the touchdown.
Well, one of the few times where you can get a first down inside the 1 without getting a touchdown. Excellent execution there. Now they probably got 4 shots at a touchdown.
And off to Chapman, and they're only going to need the 1 as Dior Chapman punches it in for the touchdown.
Well, that's Chapman's 5th touchdown of the season. He and Tanner Jones really are the guys that make this offense turn. You talked about Tanner Jones throwing for less than 200 yards a game, 1 touchdown a game. It's the running game that powers this offense. And now that they spread out this defense a little bit and they got them on their toes, Chapman's being effective, and he gets in there for the touchdown.
Everything will flip back over now in this Kingston Fox-led offense. We'll have another opportunity. Fox on the season, completing over 75% of his passes, 1,002 yards coming into this afternoon's contest with 11 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. A USC team that would like to try to win the Big Ten, and a win here this afternoon will get them a step closer to that goal.
Yeah, they came up just short to Ohio State last season, had a good season, but weren't able to get it. This season, they really want to win that conference.
Play fake, Fox to the left side, and that pass caught by Tim Cope, his first catch of the afternoon, and he's brought down pretty quickly there by Castle.
Well, you'll see this a lot from USC. The first drive, they went to Sawyer Stern and Kane Robinson a lot. Now they start this drive with Cope. You probably see Kingston Fox get a carry. They play diverse.
Pistol set here, and Fox going to give it to Marcellus Burney, who doubles in this offense, playing both ways. But Jordan Doppler, the defensive end, there to make the stop.
Well, maybe they got a little too diverse there, as Michigan wasn't having it. And now they set themselves up in a 3rd and medium.
All spotted at the 33-yard line in USC territory. Here's Fox to throw. And a quick throw over that right sideline, and that's Mason Winters. His first catch of the afternoon, and it goes for a 3rd down conversion.
I thought that was going to Kane Robinson. I think he did too, but it goes over his head, and they get the first.
2-by-2 look here. Fox with a draw play for Kane Robinson, and Robinson finds a crease and the first down as Castle catches him.
Well, Michigan's defense is in for a long night if they don't start doing something a little bit different. I'm not sure what the answer is. Right now, USC is just being so diverse and mixing up their play calls so well that Michigan really doesn't know what's coming next.
Up to the Michigan 45 here for Kingston Fox and company, and it's another run, this time a counter for Kane Robinson, and he'll be met once again by Cletus Castle. It's an 8-yard run, and so, Mike, early on, Kane Robinson being the feature player here for this USC offense.
Well, and it's working right now, so it's been executed well. They're in I formation here, probably going to see another one.
Sawyer Stern getting split out into the slot on the left side, and it's a play fake. Fox throwing to Stern there on the little corner route to pick up 9.
Well, they move him off of the line, set him up outside. They go play fake, hit him on the corner. Nobody's covering him. Excellent execution.
Marcellus Burney in the backfield once again to flank Kingston Fox with another play fake as Fox thrown to the middle of the field and holding on Mason Winters for his second grab. This one for 13 yards, and this USC offense is rolling.
Well, it's another thing that teams don't use very well is the play action, and we're seeing a good execution by this USC offense right now using it.
Quick throw on the little slant pattern, and fighting for the first down is Mason Winters. It's 1st and goal, and Mike, we're coming up on the 9th play of this drive.
Yeah, they're got 2 long drives that they're putting together here, and you really can't say enough about how well they're executing.
Fox, draw play, Kane Robinson to the inside, and not going to get as much as he maybe would have liked. John Hill Jordan coming downhill to make that stop as Robinson gets inside the 5.
Well, they're trying to get him his 2nd touchdown of the season. He had 11 last season. A lot of them came late in the season, became an Offensive Player of the Year candidate.
So at the end of 1, we're all tied up at 7, but USC is knocking on the door of the end zone with their 10th play of the current drive. We'll see if they can punch it in. You're watching the CFSL on PX1 Sports on YouTube Live. Tenth play of the current drive, and it's 2nd and goal here for the USC offense. Read option keeper, and Kingston Fox will run it in himself for the touchdown.
Well, he gets his 2nd touchdown of the season. A nice little read option. Haven't really seen that yet today. And he takes it himself, takes it into the end zone. And he had 12 rushing touchdowns last season. A little bit off that pace this season, but it works for him there. And USC's putting the pressure on Michigan here at their home field.
Petey Lemieux tacks on the extra point. And Mike, back-to-back drives for USC, both of them 10-play drives, long drives for USC. And not only is it long drives that they're capping in touchdowns, but that chews up a lot of time, doesn't leave Michigan a lot of room.
It's got to wear out the defense, too, I would think. So Michigan's going to have to come up with something different to try to stop them. And they're also going to be playing catch-up, and this offense isn't really built to play catch-up. It's predicated around Dior Chapman and Tanner Jones running the ball out of read options and the short control passing game. So they don't want to play from behind all night, so their defense is going to have to help them out.
With a touchback, the ball comes out to the 25-yard line, and Dior Chapman on the ground trying to get things rolling off tackle run to the right side, and Chapman showing power, fighting through the white jerseys of the USC defense for a first down.
We saw this going all the way back to the Army-Navy All-American game early on, as he's a powerful runner. He's got speed too. We see it there. Nice run. He's averaging 6.1 coming in, and looks like he's going to keep that up here today against USC.
Ran through 3 different players to the USC defense before he finally goes down as Tanner Jones, not quite having that same kind of power, gets stood up by Jonathan Green after he runs for 2 yards.
Yeah, Jonathan Green not known to really help that much in the run game. He's more of a defender, defending the passes. Had 3 picks last week, but comes up with a nice tackle there.
Was put in the Player of the Week contention. He'd like to be back in that this week as Chapman off tackle runs for 2 yards on that little counter run, and another medium third down here, Mike.
Well, he wasn't only in contention for Player of the Week, he won Player of the Week.
He won it.
Yeah, so definitely looking for big things from him, although I don't know if you can expect 3 interception games. However, we had one last night, so who knows?
Likely not going to happen against this offense, even though here is Tanner Jones to throw for the conversion, and he threads that in there for Giorgio Pepino, who somehow holds on.
Actually, that was the 3 interceptions was Thursday night. Man, they all run together, David.
And off here, Chapman running right, and Dior Chapman gets stopped in the backfield. Maine Patterson getting in there. And Mike, this USC linebacking core, very talented between Kay and Patterson and Holly.
Oh, yeah. They have a lot of talent back there at linebacker. And what Michigan needs to do is run some play action like you saw USC do and freeze those linebackers and create some space behind them.
Tanner Jones to throw with a 3-man rush. Jones trying to step up, and down he goes. Sacked by the walk-on, Tim McCarty. And, Mike, that puts this Michigan offense in a very dangerous spot.
That was an interesting protection call there by the offensive line as the left guard had to come back across and pick up the defensive end on the right side. Not sure what was going on there, but it didn't work out well for him.
She's showing blitz. Here's Tanner Jones taking a shot on the left sideline, and that pass going up and intercepting it is Marcellus Burney.
Well, we saw the one-handed interception last week, and you had said that we don't see that very much. We don't, and Marcellus Burney says, I want a little bit of that action. Gets up there, one hand, brings it in, All-American caliber play, and USC at the turnover. Will we see another 10-play drive and another touchdown?
Backed up to their own 17. It's a play fake. Kingston Fox, quick throw out to the flats at Sawyer Stern, picking up 3. And so, Mike, a bit of a different look for this USC offense. We've seen Tim Cope and Mason Winters, but this afternoon it's Kane Robinson and Sawyer Stern show so far.
Well, and if there's any kind of history here to be derived from it, I think we're going to see Stern and Robinson a lot on this drive.
Kane Robinson with a 3-yard run there on second down. That makes it 3rd and 4 here for the Trojans. And Mike, a lot of options here for Kingston Fox.
Yeah, you can hand it off. You can go read option. You can go underneath. It looks like they're playing a soft cover. Well, cover 2, maybe show 4.
Bringing pressure. And Marcus Seals breaks a tackle out in the flats there to pick up 9 and move the sticks across the USC 30.
Yeah, I don't really like the soft coverage there on a short 3rd down. They had him at the line. They just couldn't make the tackle.
Raheem Darka makes his 5th tackle as Fox, 11 of 12, over 100 yards. And here's Fox down, hit field into tight coverage, but Tim Cope stepping up with a 24-yard play.
Well, that was right in front of Darka there. That was a great throw. Placed about as perfect as you can for Kingston Fox. Nice catch there by Cope. And again, USC doing an excellent job moving the ball.
And Tim Cope continuing to reap the benefits of the decision that he made in the offseason to transfer out of Alabama and come to USC, as here's Fox to throw with a blitz in his face. And it's a quick throw for Sawyer Stern, who cannot hold on due to the contact with Darka.
Well, it's early on, and I don't know if this is a trend. They started with Stern, and then they went to Robinson. It seems like every other drive, that's what they're featuring. We'll see if that continues.
High formation. It's a handoff. Kane Robinson running outside to the right. He's going to cut up field. and into the tackle by John Hill Jordan. He'll get half the distance needed, making this a very manageable 3rd and 5 situation for USC.
Well, yeah, and running the ball isn't off the table here. I wouldn't be surprised to see it. Also, maybe some kind of levels concept or bench concept.
5th 3rd down of the afternoon, and USC remains perfect on them as Mason Winters on the little catch and run there picks up 17.
Well, they ran the little curl on the outside. They had a corner going behind it. The safety or the corner plays too much zone, gives them too much cushion. Excellent execution there by USC for another 1st down.
So USC 5 for 5 on 3rd downs against this Michigan defense here this afternoon, and USC, coming in to this afternoon, one of the better ones in the league is that pass out of bounds for Seals, a gain of 3.
They're keeping it diverse there. They go to Seals. They went to Cope early on. They've used Stern and Robinson quite a bit, but they are featuring the other guys as well. Now they got an uncovered receiver in the slot.
Kingston Fox, quick throw. And that's Seals who breaks one tackle, and then John Hill Jordan will wrap him up pretty quickly. It's a gain of 4, 3rd and 3, once again for USC.
Well, a lot of times those quarterbacks don't see that. Seals uncovered there, like I said. Fox sees him, gives it to him for the nice pickup.
Trojans looking to remain perfect on 3rd down. Here's Fox, standing in, dancing. Pressure gets home, and down goes Kingston Fox for a loss of 6. The walk-on, Jesse Cook, dragging him down.
Yeah, nice. And that was both nice coverage by the secondary and also good pressure there by the defensive line as the walk-on gets in there for the sack, and they get him off the field and force him into a field goal attempt for the first time tonight.
This field goal will be a 38-yard attempt from that right hash for Petey Lemieux, and he delivers to make it a 10-point game, just under the halfway point of this 2nd quarter.
Well, Lemieux's had a little bit of a rough season so far, 3 for 6 coming in, but they set him up on the right hash, so it's an easier kick for the left-footed Lemieux, and he knocks it home. And a nice 10-point lead here. Michigan's really going to have to get their offense going.
And this USC offense, long drives. Michigan, on the other hand, their longest drive was a 9-play drive, resulting in the touchdown. Their last drive, though, they threw the interception to Marcellus Burney. And they'd like to replicate their 2nd drive that led to the points as Tanner Jones on the read option keeper runs into Peyton Miles.
Well, they need to use that a little bit more often. It's the 5th carry technically, but he's had some pressure back there, not getting him out in the open as much as they need to. They got to get him out on the outside of the hash mark so he's got some room to maneuver. Right now they haven't been able to do it, but that's going to be a big part of their success if they're going to have it.
Tanner Jones to throw with a 3-man rush in his face. And he's going to stand in and float that one into coverage. And coming up with his that's Digby Krause with the interception. And it's his 1st of the afternoon. 2nd of the afternoon, though, for Tanner Jones. Well,
it's his 1st of the season, too, for Krause. And Jones panicked a little bit. There was 4 white shirts over there. He throws it into traffic, and Krause is the recipient. The 2nd interception of the night for Tanner Jones. And the freshman having a rough night, or a rough afternoon under center, and they definitely can't afford that against a team like USC.
USC with their 4th drive of the afternoon. They'll come out in the I formation. Ball spotted at the Michigan 30. And it's a handoff here. Kane Robinson running left and fighting his way forward for a gain of 5. And might USC looking to make this a 3-score game.
Well, it's a tough spot to be in against this team, although we can remember back, I believe it was season 3, Michigan fell behind 17-0 to Oregon on the road and came back and won that game. So they definitely have it in them. We'll see if this version of Michigan has it in them.
Cletus Castle gets over there to make his 6th tackle and force a long 3rd down for Kingston Fox and its offense, who up until their previous drive, they were perfect on 3rd downs. Fox to throw over the middle, and Tim Cope cannot hold on to that one. So a quick 3-play drive here for USC, and out comes Petey Lemieux once again.
Well, Cope wants to be known as one of the better receivers in this league, and he's got to fix that. Surprisingly, no drops last season, as that kick is good by Lemieux, but that's his 5th drop already for Cope. If he wants to be one of the better receivers in this league, he's got to fix that concentration problem, really, especially in traffic.
So USC, their last 2 drives, they haven't been able to punch it into the end zone, but they have come away with points, which they've done on each of their drives this afternoon. Mike, Michigan, on the other hand, they haven't quite had that success, and Tanner Jones being a freshman, we'll see, and we've seen it time and again. that for what for the freshman and for the offensive coordinator, that you throw a couple picks early, they kind of go into a little bit of a shell, and they go with some pretty conservative play calling, although they don't dare for Trey Jackson downfield. Long 25-yard play. So, Mike, how do you respond to that? How do you see quarterbacks, with that variance that they go into the shell or some don't? Is it something inherent to the quarterback? Is it just the scheme?
You just have to get them in a rhythm, and you got to. And I think with the read option, getting them to running the ball is where they have success.
Tanner Jones to throw, 3-man rush, and he's going to take off and run right up the middle. He'll pick up 5.
Well, and that's a big part of it, too. When you go with little short routes, all the defense is sitting up in front of you. If you go run deeper routes, not only do you have a possibility of a big play, but you also clear out some running room for Jones. And that's where he's going to be successful. I think if Michigan's going to be successful, they got to go deeper routes, let him scramble. They got to use the read option, get the running game going. We haven't seen a lot of that so far.
And off here, Dior Chapman gets bottled up pretty quickly by the USC defense. It's a loss of 2. And Mike putting Tanner Jones in a spot where he has not looked comfortable all afternoon.
Well, it's also when you don't use the play action, you don't throw the ball deeper downfield, you keep all the defenders down there in the box, and it makes it harder to run the ball.
2-by-2 look, Jones to throw, 4-man rush, and it's a quick throw to Dior Chapman. Little angle route there, but it is enough to move the sticks here for the Wolverines.
Well, if you want to get Dior Chapman involved in the receiving game, do that. Use them on wheel routes on the outside and angle routes over the middle. Nice job there to execute on 3rd down.
Jones to throw, 3-man rush. Tanner Jones going to decide to tuck it and run, and Jones runs into Xavier Holly. It's a gain of 7.
Well, he gets outside a little bit, picks up a decent yardage. They need plays like that to keep moving this ball downfield. 1:31 to go.
Michigan with 1 timeout called as well, and a quick throw to the middle. That's Chapman again. It's a gain of 5, but Mike, as you've said, Michigan playing pretty close to the line of scrimmage.
Well, they're working a little bit better there. Instead of running halfback screens, they're getting him involved out there, but you're going to have to see some plays past the 1st down marker.
Jones throw again, blitz coming, and here's Tanner Jones taking off and running with a lot of real estate in front of him before Jonathan Green slams the door on that 15-yard run.
Well, they did exactly what they needed to. They left some room for Jones to run, but he needs to ask Kingston Fox how to slide.
Another timeout called by Michigan. They've got 1 left. Here's a read option keeper, and Tanner Jones runs right into Peyton Miles, who was pursuing Chapman.
Well, he was. I don't know why. It looked like he lost track of his assignment. I was like, oh, the quarterback's got it. Luckily made the tackle, but wasn't a great read there.
Miles, his 5th tackle of the afternoon. Jones to throw here, and it's going to go out to the flats to the tight end, Oliver Vaught, gain of 4, and a 3rd and 5 situation.
Well, now they're being a little bit more diverse. First catch by Vaught, and that's good to see as well.
Jones to throw, going to take off and run here. Gets away from Maine Patterson, breaks the tackle, but it buys time for the rest of the Legion as Airdone to come in and make the play.
Well, and another example there of a little bit of panic there by Tanner Jones. Tries to take off and run, gets bottled up a little bit. It probably would have been better off throwing that away as he winds up losing a yard. Not that it's a big deal, but just not giving himself really an opportunity there.
Cassius Castle out to make this a 10-point game from 25 yards out, but a false start penalty is going to push this back and make this kick a little bit more difficult for Castle.
I don't think it actually gives him a little bit more angle. I don't think it's going to affect it much. He is kicking from the right hash, which isn't ideal, but actually a little bit more angle here is probably better.
So from 30 yards out this time, and Cassius Castle puts it through and does make it a 10-point game with 20 seconds to play in the half.
I want to meet the parents, the Castle parents. I want to know who names their kids Cletus and Cassius. I want to meet them, and I want to see what they're all about.
Or what they were thinking, perhaps. Mason Winters, not a great return. So, Mike, 17 seconds, you got a 10-point lead. You're expecting USC to just run out, right?
Not necessarily. Probably they're just going to hand it off to Kane Robinson, maybe go with the read option, but you never really know with this USC team.
Going to start in the gun, trips bunch to the right side of the field, and here's Fox to throw. He's going to take off and run, though, running through Jordan Doppler, and then the Wolverines will swarm him at the line of scrimmage pretty quickly.
Yeah, and getting bottled up there amongst a bunch of blue jerseys isn't ideal. And I was worried they were going to rip that out of there, and that really would have cost USC.
So we reach the end of the first half of play. USC holding on to a 10-point lead over the Michigan Wolverines as Michigan had to drive down the field towards the end of the half and make it a 10-point game. But, Mike, that first half, USC was clicking. Michigan took them a little bit longer.
Well, we're starting to find a little bit of a rhythm. You got to give credit, though, to USC, who moved the ball down the field on their first 2 drives. And 2 10-play drives to score. And they went to Ted Stern there to get one of them. And Michigan finally gets back a little bit. They get going. They get their first touchdown to Dior Chapman. Kingston Fox able to get in and extends the lead for USC. Well, now we see what happened for most of the half for Michigan as they turned the ball over a couple of times. They took some sacks. They're in the game, and they're at home, so that's looking good for them. But they really got to stop and clamp down on this USC offense, and they've got to be more precise and more efficient offensively.
You look at the numbers there for the 2 offenses, similar in the rushing yards, but USC's efficiency in the passing game making a pretty big difference, as is the 2 turnovers by this Michigan team. Because, Mike, USC has scored on all of their drives, save that one at the end of the half. Michigan, on the other hand, out of their 5 drives in that first half, they only scored on 2 of them.
Yeah, and they definitely need to up that percentage. You can't score on only 40% of your drives, especially against a team like USC. And they're also going to start kicking off. You got to come up with a big defensive stop here to start the half.
Mason Winters trying to come up with a big return and gets out to the 32. And, Mike, we're still waiting on a kick return for a touchdown this season, which is odd.
It's extremely odd. I mean, you think back a couple seasons ago, Joshua Priest Jr. had 5 kick returns for touchdowns. Obama had 4 the season before that, and we don't have any this season.
Very odd situation as empty backfield, Fox to throw, standing in all day and forever to throw, and he finally drops in a dime for Winters, but he steps out of bounds. That pass incomplete.
It was incomplete, but it was a perfectly thrown ball. Either your guy's going to catch it or it's going to be out of bounds. Exactly what you want to do there for Kingston Fox.
Salisbury in the backfield as well as Robinson to flank Fox. Blitz coming, and Kingston Fox able to get that one out of his hands for Burney out in the flats there in that little hot route for a gain of 2.
I appreciate Bracco so much that he knows the streaming game, and I didn't even think about it. You can like the video here on YouTube Live, which probably helps our viewership a little bit, so I appreciate for pointing that out.
Pass out to Tim Cope, and it's a gain of 20 for USC. And, yeah, some of the differences between Twitch and YouTube Live.
Yeah, it's, we're adapting as we go, trying to figure things out. Great little corner route there. It's that half moon or C route, as you call it. That one would be a backward C, but wide open there and a nice execution. And USC continually being very efficient on offense.
Empty backfield again for Fox as Kingston Fox threads that needle in there for Marcus Seals. He'll move the sticks here with an 11-yard play.
Yeah, it's impressive, really, what we're seeing from USC. We've been enamored with Auburn all season, and as they went to 4-0, and they're the last remaining team. But what we're seeing from USC right now is just a really good offensive execution, and it's fun to watch.
2 tight ends on the field as Fox got the Michigan defense a jump and a throw there for Sawyer Stern. He'll pick up 18, getting down inside the 15-yard line to Michigan.
Well, they might be taking a page out of the Auburn playbook, too, featuring their tight end, Michael McKenzie, one of the best tight ends in the league on Auburn. And Sawyer Stern over here trying to make his name as one of the better tight ends as well.
Ball spotted, actually backed up to the 16-yard line is where they'll say Stern stepped out of bounds, but Fox to throw yet again. And he'll work that right side of the field some more, looking for Stern. But that pass broken up by the Michigan defense.
Yeah, the walk-on Ed Green gets in there. Nice play to rip that one out. Forces the 2nd and 10. The defense really has to step up here.
It's to full house. Handoff for Marcellus Burney running left, and he'll cut back upfield. He'll get 5 yards with that carry. Makes 3rd down much more manageable for this USC offense.
Well, they had the lead blocker out there as well, and it was set up very nice, but a good job by Mercier to shed the block and make the tackle.
From the gun, Mason Winters being motioned in to set up at the slot on the right side of the field. Here is Fox. Set up halfback screen in the opposite direction as Kane Robinson not going to get there. Brought down by Juice Staley.
Well, not only was it everybody's favorite halfback screen, it was also your favorite as they throw to the short side of the field and didn't work out for him. So now we're going to see Lemieux kicking for the left hash here.
This will be a 26-yard field goal attempt from that left hash, and Petey Lemieux delivers this one to make it a 13-point game yet again.
And we got a 10 to 12 mile an hour breeze here today, but it's not affecting these kickers. And it's, again, it's very interesting. We haven't seen any kick returns for touchdowns, and we've seen a lot of interesting games from kickers. Either they're really bad or really good.
Giorgio Pepino unable to do one, and you think Pepino would be a guy who can make the kick return for a touchdown happen.
Well, there's a lot of guys in this game that can make it happen. It doesn't look like it's going to.
From the gun to open up this drive is Tanner Jones, and he's going to start with a handoff for Dior Chapman, who's brought down pretty quickly by Peyton Miles, gain of 5.
Okay, you opened up the defense. You went straight up the middle. Now let's look at a read option or maybe a play action, 10 to 15 yards downfield.
All spot at the 26 here for Jones and company is Tanner Jones in the pistol. Keeping it himself on the read option. Jones into the open field, and he's brought down by Terrence Goldsberry, but not before he reaches the 40.
Yeah, they needed a big block out there. I don't know if that was Trey Jackson. I couldn't see the number. It was. He shedded the first one, but Jones slips out in front of him a little bit too fast. If he gets that block, he gone.
Jones got a set of wheels on him, much like Nebraska's Scott Fountain. And Jones back in the pistol. Pepino coming in motion to set up in the backfield. And they're going to go with the triple option and hand off to Dior Chapman as Chapman finds a crease and he lost a football. And USC comes up with it.
I think his knee's going to be down there. I'm sure they're going to review this. We'll take a look at it here on the replay. I think he was down. Always fighting hard, and that is one of the downsides of doing it. Is the ball can come loose. I can't. No, that's going to be a fumble. Wow,
fumble.
What a play there! As I think that was Peyton Miles who came in there and knocked that free. Great job by the USC defense.
They are not going to take another look at it. So that is the third drive this afternoon for the Michigan Wolverines that has resulted in a turnover. And USC, the benefactors, is Fox to throw, and it's a quick throw over to the left sideline for Tim Cope, who gets out of one tackle and is able to turn upfield for the first down.
Well, now you're up 13. You got all the momentum. You get 3 turnovers to 9. The playbook is really open. They can do about anything they want right now and not feel like they're going to lose a whole lot.
Fox to throw again over to the right sideline, and Sawyer Stern can't hold on.
Yeah, and again, much like Cope dropping that one earlier, Stern wants to put his name with the likes of Michael McKenzie. He's got to hold on to wide open passes like that.
Single back set, handoff, Robinson running right, and this Michigan defense led by Cletus Castle stops him pretty quickly there, 3rd and 9.
Who is Lookup? We're still trying to figure out who everybody is. Most of the names we recognize. Lookup's a new one. Which one are you? So we can attach a player to a name.
Fox to throw, 3rd and long, shot to the left sideline. Tim Cope hangs on for the 18-yard pickup.
Well, he has a drop earlier on, and now he comes back running that C route again. And thrown a little bit too far outside, but he does a great job, recognizes the sideline, keeps his toes in, and picks up the first down.
Take this time to give a shout out to everybody in the live chat. Ted Stern, Alan, Look Up, obviously, as you mentioned, Dat Dude, Tanner Hendricks, Nani, Nighthawk. I know Shane's in here as well as Tim Cope. And I saw Blackpaw in here earlier as well, and of course Bracco. And if I missed anybody else, I do apologize, as USC on first down picks up 6. So on this 2nd and 4, they'll come out in the pistol full house. Hand off, Benjamin Kay running right, and he will run backwards to the right side as Doppler stops him for a loss of 4.
Well, we've seen Bernie back there a couple of times. He wasn't able to get much going. Now we see them go to Benjamin Kay, who also doubles as a fullback and a tight end. And he's not able to do much, so now they put himself in a 3rd and 8 spot.
Play fake. Fox stepping up and into trouble as he's going to get away, and Kingston Fox out to the 11-yard line as he takes off and runs.
I don't know if Fox has a nickname yet, but it needs to be the Magician after that one.
Cletus Castle with his 11th tackle in the afternoon, and Fox handing off. Kane Robinson running into trouble this time, and he will lose 3.
Yeah, good job there by the defense to get outside and shut them down. They shut the block out there as the walk-on defensive end and stops them for a 3-yard loss. They need more of those today.
Ninth play of the current drive. Kingston Fox in the gun. Ball spotted from the 13. Fox going to take off and run, and he will work his way down to the 7 with a gain of 6.
I'm not quite sure how the walk-on Charles Foster was able to chase down Fox from behind, but he did. And it says it's 3rd and 7. I'm pretty sure it's 3rd and goal, Truck. Get that right.
Fox to throw. Pressure coming, and he will throw that through the back of the end zone. Not liking what he saw, and the pass rush didn't help matters. And so USC will once again call upon P.D. Lemieux.
Well, it's the 4th straight trip that USC's had to settle for a field goal. So Michigan's defense is clapping down. They need their offense to help them out now.
This run from 24 yards away, and Lemieux delivers. So it's a 16-point game. So, Mike, the Michigan offense, while it's struggling to get things going, their defense is keeping this game within reach.
They are, and they're going to need to use that read option and the play action. Like I said, they got the read option for the first down. They're just not using that play action and trying to keep that defense, which is sitting on the run and trying to spread them out. And until they do that, I think they're going to struggle moving the ball.
They got to figure out a way for drives to not end in turnovers, but end in points.
Looked up as Terrence Goldsberry. Good to know.
And off to your Chapman right up the middle, and Chapman gets 6 yards.
Good to see Nani in chat as well. Ray Tate, my brother from Nebraska, Tom Pence, showing up here on a Saturday. I would imagine he's at work. You know, he's one of those essentials, David.
I heard the other day, I made the comment to somebody, it must be nice to feel essential.
Well, you know what? Here's the deal. All of the essentials complain that they got to work, and all the non-essentials complain that they can't go to work. I mean, it's just what is it? Everybody's unhappy. Doesn't matter what they're labeled with.
I have a feeling that might be the mood for a while. As that pass caught by Tyler Forrest for a gain of 17. And Michigan's feeling a little unhappy right now, but they're trying to fix that.
Forrest, one of the 4 wide receivers on this roster. They got Pepino and Greer and Forrest, and then they just added Trey Jackson this week. So they got a lot of weapons out there, which is interesting for a guy that's really known for his feet, not his arm. But they got a lot of weapons, and they got to start using them a little bit more effectively.
OPP shown up in live chat on this Saturday afternoon as Dior Chapman showed up to play this afternoon as he's fighting with big crowds all the way out to the USC 25.
OPP's got nurse duty. She's keeping an eye on our little kitty Fred that underwent surgery this week and keeping him from jumping around, which, he's a cat. So a lot of times he's in his little tent that we got set up for him, but trying to let him run around, and she's got nursing duty right now.
And off here for Chapman. Chapman trying to pick his way across, and he's not going to get much. Gets brought down pretty quickly. How is Fred recovering, by the way?
He's doing well. He doesn't like being caged too much. We let his brothers in the other day, and one of them, Frank, the skittish one, hisses at him. Like he doesn't understand. I think he thought he was a snake because he's got that cone on his head. I think he thinks he was a cobra, and he was threatening him.
Gain of 2 here for Chapman, and Michigan feeling threatened here on 3rd and 8.
Well, it's not a great job of where they're putting themselves in position here. Tanner Jones isn't the most adept at completing these, although an angle route to Chapman wouldn't be the worst idea. Maybe a post route here, too.
Jones to throw, halfback screen for Trey Greer, who's running down the sideline down to the 4-yard line, gain of 18.
Well, that works, too. I mean, they caught him perfectly. They had it set up against the defense. They executed perfectly. He's got blockers downfield. Almost had enough room to get in there for the touchdown. So good play call there by Michigan.
When it works, it works. And when it doesn't, people complain.
Well, and Jeff complaining about what he's hearing when he tunes into the game. Go figure. It's just, that's our culture here in America. Everybody's unhappy with no matter what situation.
Hey, you know what? Don't show up with a minute left in the 3rd quarter, and you won't have to worry about it. How's that?
I'm sure he's got some excuse.
Oh, he's always got an excuse. 2nd and goal here for the Michigan Wolverines. Ball spawned at the 4.
I had to air the tires on my bike or something, I'm sure. That's what he's going to say.
He's one of those people, huh?
Halfback screen. Nope.
Handoff. Dior Chapman right up the middle for the touchdown. His 2nd of the afternoon.
That is 6th of the season. So Chapman, he's the crucial part of this offense, and they get him in there. Now I think they should probably go for 2 here. Or not.
They will not. They're actually going to call upon Cassius Castle to tack on the extra point and close that gap, but it's still
really
a 9-point game.
Yeah, I don't really understand that. You're down by 10. You can go for 2. That 1 point doesn't really change much for you. I think you got to go for 2 there, but we'll see how it plays out for him.
It's returned by Marcellus Burney. Finding a crease, and I got my hopes up.
I did too. Whoever that was there was laying on his face and completely out of the play, and then gets up and chases him down. I don't know what it is. Something is going on this year, but nobody wants to give up a kick return touchdown.
And it's not just that. I mean, you think about some of the crazy things that we've seen in terms of streaks like that. Is a huge hit there dished out by Cletus Castle to Sawyer Stern. Clotheslines him practically.
Well,
yikes.
If you want to be the possession guy for this team, you're going to have to take hits like that, and he does. Castle, 12th tackle in this game. He's having himself a nice game. He's doing a good job of filling the role of Nate Jones. The one thing he's not doing that Nate Jones is good at, forcing fumbles. They could really use one from him.
Kingston Fox here from the gun to end the third quarter, and Fox to the middle of the field. That pass incomplete.
We got 3 seconds left on a 3rd and 3 in the third quarter. If you play MLB The Show, Matt Vasgersian would say it's all 2s here when it's a 2-2 count. This one, it's all 3s.
Fox to throw. Blitz coming off the edge, and he's going to find Mason Winters spinning across midfield, and that is how we end the third quarter. USC holding on to a 9-point lead, but looking to add to it here from the Big House in Ann Arbor. You're watching the CFSL on PX1 Sports on YouTube Live. Start of the fourth quarter, and it's an I formation here on first down and 10 to go. And Fox making an adjustment, taking his time with it as he'll give it to Kane Robinson, running left, and gets bottled up pretty quickly by the Michigan defense.
That was an interesting look there. I'm not sure what was going on. They moved Mason Winters in a couple of steps. I thought maybe they were going to run like a corner route to him, and then they made an adjustment at the line, and they give it to Kane Robinson, who's only able to pick up 2. I wonder what they initially were going to do.
To say is Michigan showing blitz, and they bring it. Robinson running left again, and the Michigan defense having none of that is Castle, his 13th tackle in the afternoon.
Well, that's a situation they probably should audible out of. They're going to run it. The box was stacked. Not a good idea there. So now they got this medium long 3rd and 8. They've been great on third downs. Can they convert another one?
Kingston Fox in the gun. Flanked by Burney and Robinson, halfback screen, left side, and the Michigan defense snuffs that one out for a loss of 2. 4th and 12 upcoming for the Trojans.
Well, we talk about it. There's always one drive of every game for every team that's just a turd, and that was it for USC. Unfortunately, it comes here in the fourth quarter when they're only up by 9, and we'll see if that gives Michigan an opportunity to pull within 1 score.
This punt away, and it'll bounce through the back of the end zone for a touchback. So, Mike, we talk about it. Michigan has started out, they've had a tough time this afternoon, right? Turned the ball over 3 times, and yet still within striking distance.
Well, their defense is keeping them in the game. That's the big thing. Looks like USC bringing a blitz here.
They do indeed, and Tanner Jones going to run away from it. And he found the Kingston slide somewhere in his bag of tricks.
Well, I think they probably showed him some highlights of Kingston Fox on the sideline. And so he picked it up there. Great job there. They brought the blitz. They had deeper routes downfield, left room for him to run.
Jones, read option keeper, and gets bottled up by Maine Patterson after he gets across the line to gain. Jones, 14 carries, 58 yards this afternoon.
Well, another one of my favorite sayings, it's a poker saying, you got to keep yourself alive long enough to get lucky. I don't really think that Michigan needs luck here, but they've kept themselves alive. They've got an opportunity to still take this game.
USC showing blitz. As Jones on the midline read finds a lot of running room, and he'll pick up the first down once again.
Well, they've waited until the fourth quarter to really start using this read option, and it doesn't look like USC is really ready for it. Now's a great time to go with the play action, try to hit them with something downfield.
Jones, bubble screen, left side for Tyler Forrest, but the USC defense, they're in a hurry. Mike, the speed in the secondary, those screens don't always work out.
Well, I like the call there, actually. You're trying to loosen up the defense. You can go to px1sports.com and you can look at a primer that I wrote about the Oregon offense when it was debuting in Madden a few seasons ago. I think it was Madden. Maybe it was anyway. You use those constraint plays to try to stretch out the defense so you can run it up the middle.
And off here on the counter, and Dior Chapman falling forward to get the 2 yards as Peyton Miles there to stop him. 20 carries this afternoon for Chapman, 96 rushing yards. Long third down. Tanner Jones to throw. 3-man rush. Floats that in for Forrest, and he is stopped well short of the marker. 4th and 2 upcoming. Mike, do you go for it here?
Well, it looks like they're going to. I mean, I guess if you were planning on going for it the whole time, then that's an okay play call. We'll see if they're able to convert it.
Jones hand off Dior Chapman, not going to get there. Miles slows him up for Xavier Holly to get the stop and for USC to take over.
Well, I don't hate the play call there. Give it to Dior Chapman. He's your horse on offense, but great defensive play there by USC.
Back set here. Kane Robinson running left, and Robinson will get 9. So, Mike, this becomes a point. If USC scores here, depending on how much time is left, regardless of how much time is left, I'll put it that way, is Michigan out of it?
Probably. They just don't have the horsepower on offense to come back from 3 scores in the 4th quarter.
Tim Cope makes that catch to convert and move the chains here. We are not done, by the way. That's the first part of our CFSL Saturday action still to come at about 2:40, maybe closer to 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. Notre Dame heads out to Autzen Stadium to take on the Oregon Ducks in a homecoming game for Dijon Swan.
And Axton Richardson, new look at quarterback.
That throw over the middle of Sawyer Stern, picking up the first down. It's a gain of 15.
That's all I'm going to say, a new look at quarterback for Oregon. So if nothing else, tune in for that.
Things going to be a little bit different. By the way, in that game, Oregon has never lost to Notre Dame. How crazy is that?
Well, and they're playing at home, too. It's not easy to win in Autzen. And Notre Dame is kind of behind the 8 ball a little bit. 1-1 in conference, 1-2 overall. Oregon's 1-0 in conference, kind of controlling their destiny along with USC. They're going to be fighting hard for a win. Oh, what a pick!
And a pick there, Raheem Darka. Can he outrun Mason Winters as Winters closing quickly, and he will catch him all the way out, though, to the USC 27.
Yeah, I was thinking there was no chance he's outrunning Winters. But what a great job by Darka, reading that play, jumping their route. Michigan needed a big play on the defense. They finally get one there. Now can the offense convert?
So, Mike, we were just talking about, if USC scored on that drive, things were looking very bleak for Michigan. Now there's new life and new momentum.
Well, they got to punch it in here. I mean, a field goal is okay, but after that, you really want to capitalize with a touchdown.
Tanner Jones looking. Quick throw out into the flats on the right sideline, and fighting forwards is Trey Jackson for a gain of 8.
Yeah, it's only his 2nd catch. I guess I missed the first one, but 2nd catch of his career. Congrats on your 1st catch. 2nd and 2 now. Got a lot of options.
Jones in the pistol, and he's going to motion behind him Dior Chapman, Chapman gets a move and gets away from Peyton Miles and is able to squeak out that first down.
Well, this is what happens when you're very predictable with running the ball, is that this defense is bringing run blitzes here. You got to be able to attack them over the top with passes.
Krause, his 5th tackle in the afternoon. Chapman running right, and Peyton Miles there to slow him up for the rest of the Trojans to bring him down. Jonathan Green credited with his 4th tackle.
You're not in a situation where you necessarily have to pass right now, but if you're going to keep running the ball, you got to mix in that read option. They're not doing it. So I wouldn't mind seeing a read option here, maybe, and then maybe a play action on 3rd down if they don't pick up the first.
From the 17-yard line in USC territory, it's a long 2nd and 11 as Oliver Bott the tie into motion, and Dior Chapman right up the middle, stood up by Xavier Holly, and Chapman able to just get it back to the original line of scrimmage as Holly 9 tackles, 2 for a loss. Long 3rd down and 10. Michigan 6 of 10 on these so far. Quick throw, and Chapman stopped after a gain of 3 by Xavier Holly.
Yeah, not a good job there on that 2nd down play call. It looked like they might have went read option, but they went to the strong side of the defense. Now they're in a 4th and long and tough spot to be in.
Michigan could not convert earlier on 4th down. They're going to go halfback screen on 4th and 7, and Dior Chapman's not going to get anywhere close. to the line to gain. So USC will take over from their own 11.
Yeah, that was an awful play call there. I don't know why you go with that. You're really just giving the game away with your offensive play calling.
And Kane Robinson trying to put this game away as he opens up with the 5-yard run.
Well, Michigan's going to need to depend on their defense to come up with another one. Maybe Cletus Castle gets in there and channels his inner Nate Jones, but they need another turnover, unfortunately. Otherwise, this game's over.
Pistol set as we near the 2-minute mark in this one. Handoff. Robinson fighting. He'll pick up 4, but a yard shy of the line to gain. Michigan taking a timeout.
Well, they can also get a stop here. A punt wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, but they are losing a lot of time.
2 timeouts on the field for this I formation. The give to the fullback, Benjamin Kay. He'll fall forward and pick up the first down.
It was a terrible defensive play call. They only had 6 guys in the box against basically a goal line offense.
So Michigan down to 1 remaining timeout as Marcellus Burney running outside. He gets a hard hit. John Hill Jordan doing all he can to try and put the ball back in the hands of its offense.
Well, it's been kind of a quiet day for him, but he gets his 6th tackle, tried to knock it loose, didn't happen.
Robinson running right, and Raheem Darka there to drag him down. But Mike, with Michigan being unable to stop the clock anymore, it kind of seems this one is well in hand for USC.
Well, they still have it would be a miracle, but they still have a shot. That they got to get a stop here, and a turnover would really be ideal.
Trips to the left here as Michigan trying to find a way to get the ball back into the hands of their quarterback, Tanner Jones. As Kingston Fox going to let time really tick down here. 2 seconds on the game clock is when Fox will snap it. Here he is to throw to the middle. That's Marcus Seals. Not going to get at the first down. So Mike, Michigan gets the stop. Now can they get the points?
Well, I think that's the safe play. It's highly unlikely that Michigan's going to get a touchdown, an onside kick, and then a field goal. So they take this short play underneath. They can let time run down. Michigan's only going to have about 30 seconds left, and they're going to be punting, so it's going to be not the perfect field position. I'm perfectly okay with that play there by USC. Now, the interesting thing would be if somehow Michigan gets a punt return for a touchdown, that drastically would shift things. And there's about a 0.01% chance of that happening.
Considering we haven't seen one in 6 seasons, it'd be crazy. As Bronco does point out, Cletus Castle, 16 tackles this afternoon. So the punt is away, and Giorgio Pepino not going to get that punt return for a touchdown, and only 29 seconds for Tanner Jones to work with.
Yeah, and as we've seen, he's not necessarily the best at throwing the ball downfield. He doesn't necessarily have to. Some corner routes on the outside getting out of bounds would work too.
From the gun, Jones to throw, 3-man rush. Trying to attack this really good secondary, and he's able to get the ball out of his hands. It's not ruled a fumble. It's an incomplete pass as the pass rush gets home.
Yeah, I don't know how that wasn't a fumble, but for Michigan's sake, it wasn't, and they got another shot.
Clock does stop with that. Jones to throw, trying to stand in, finds Greer. He's got the first down.
Well, not the worst thing in the world. The clock does stop on the first down. Now they got to hurry up and spike it.
Jones taking a lot of time here to try and spike this, and he will with 15 seconds on the clock.
So you've got to get a touchdown and onside kick. So you need one more play. So you've got maybe 2 plays on this drive at most.
Jones looking, 3-man rush, short throw, intercepted. I believe that's Goldsberry coming back. It is not. It is
Ryan
the
Freeman.
walk-on.
Yeah, the walk-on Ryan Freeman jumps that pass. And Tanner Jones, we saw this from Scott Fountain last week, and now we're seeing it from Tanner Jones. We've seen it from Colt Youngblood last week. These freshmen, they're going to have those games where things just don't go well for them. Well, and heck, you see Voodoo Tatum had 3 at the end of his career that didn't go well for him. It's going to happen. A great team like USC wasn't quite prepared for it. Tip of your cap to USC. I'm sure Tanner Jones will learn from this and get better.
We are not done this afternoon. As still to come, Notre Dame taking on Oregon. Going to be a little bit closer to 3 p.m. Central Standard Time when that game will kick off. Mike, your final thoughts here this afternoon.
Just an excellent job by USC. They've rebounded very well from that blowout loss to Auburn in week 1, and now they're starting to hit their footing. They're finding their footing. They're doing well right now, both offensively and defensively, playing excellent football, and they're kind of controlling the Big Ten right now. Oregon got a chance to keep pace with them. We'll see if they can knock off Notre Dame in the mid-afternoon cap of our doubleheader.
So USC wins their 3rd straight here from the Big House in Ann Arbor. We'll be back in about 30 minutes with Notre Dame taking on Oregon as the Ducks look to try and keep pace with the Trojans and keep pressure on for that Big Ten crown. For Mike, I'm David. We'll see you later.